thanking all the senators and congressmen, etc., that are there, and the governor, John Bel Edwards of Louisiana, Democrat, who said has been doing a terrific job. Let me pull this up on YouTube, see if the chat's working here. Chat's been back and forth the last few days, so if you'd like to get in on the chat, best place to do is youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. I am your Kevinly Father, Kevin Williams. That's what I do. We chat truth to power, and you come along as well. There's Stephanie. This is sort of unannounced. I didn't even know this was happening right now. I just turned it on, and boom, there it was. Larry, you're second. Sorry, buddy. But in metric, that's first. So now that we know the chat appears to be working, let's have a listen here and see what Mr. Trump is rambling on about today.
Good job you're doing. I hear great job. James Wascom, Director of Louisiana Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. Good.
Orangey, you're doing a heck of a job. Let's get. He's
now,
just doing the introductions here. Let's get past this. Hi, Ruth Ann. Hey, Dr. Howard.
Good job, Nick. Great job.
Great job. Great job.
Hey, Michael.
Michael. So this is terribly, Mike. I don't know if we're going to get anything out of this. Good question, fellas. Where are the paper towels?
There's no problem, and we'll supply what we have to supply. And
you got to say first to be first, Steph.
Right? Well, you'll all get it going. One thing I know about this state, they rebuild it fast. There's no problem. And we'll supply what we have to supply, and you know what a lot of that is.
It's Louisiana. They were crippled for almost a decade after Katrina.
With you and John. And I just want to recognize Bill Cassidy and
Congressman
Ralph Abraham, two great people. And Bill's going through a problem, and I hope Ralph is fine, right? Ralph is fine. And Bill is going through a problem, but I spoke to him the other day, and it sounds like he's doing well.
I'm hoping he takes questions.
Along with John, a terrific senator. So Hurricane Laura was a Category 4 storm, and it was actually, for a little while, a 5. It was up to 175, almost 180 miles an hour. Few people have ever even heard of that, with winds currently, when it came in.
No, I mean, everybody's heard of a Category 5 hurricane. We've all heard of that. You've heard that you can kill it with a nuclear bomb, but none of us have heard. That's what none of us have heard.
It was at 150 miles per hour at landfall, damaging thousands of homes and causing hundreds of road blockages and major power outages. And I think this is correct, it was the most powerful storm coming in and hitting your land in 150 years.
Yes, sir.
Coming in.
And that's assuming the measurements were right.
Yeah, you don't know. How did they do? They put their finger up, right? I just visited the Cajun Navy and the Relief Center. They're fantastic. I want to thank the pastors. And we had a great pastor just gave us a little prayer, and he didn't choke. He gave a great prayer, I'll tell you. He got up there and he just gave it. I've seen some didn't quite get it out as nice.
I've seen some pastors who choked with the opening prayer. Well, that was important to share with us. Everything has to be the best with Trump, even the prayers. Because you know how a lot of people get up there and they say, "Dear Lord, up in Kansas," I mean heaven. I mean, I'm sorry. Let me start again. Can I do it again? Let me just hold on. Pastor screwing up prayers. Like, how do you even screw up well, he would screw up a prayer. He would profoundly screw up a prayer.
But he did a fantastic job, and I want to thank all of the pastors across the state, people of faith across the state who have been helping families and communities recover. Before the storm struck, I approved an emergency declaration under the auspices of John and John Bell. We had a very quick one. I would say you got that almost immediately. Wouldn't you say, John? Like I think before the storm got here, you had your emergency. We knew what was coming. Yeah, thank you, John. But we got it very quickly, and we're going to be discussing some other things in a little while. Yesterday, I approved a major disaster declaration that helps individuals and business owners, which is a little bit different, but it goes right to the individual. And I've signed that already, and so you're all set to go on that. FEMA has delivered 2.6 million liters of water and 1.4 million meals, and that's a lot of meals. So you're pretty busy, I guess, Pete, right? That's incredible. Great job. Your people are incredible. You know, I haven't had, and Pete's done this now for a long time, but I haven't had one complaint with all of the storms we've had in Texas and here.
Hey, Rich.
I haven't had one complaint. So you've done a hell of a job, Pete. Thank you. Pete Gaynor, everybody. Don't hire him away, please. You know, private enterprises look and they say, hey, let's go take him away. Don't let him leave, John, please. All right? Is that all right?
He's the best.
We're also assisting state and local officials to restore water to roughly 180,000 residents and to protect energy infrastructure. I want to thank the men and women of FEMA and the first responders and the law enforcement, which we love and we cherish and are doing a fantastic job and don't get the kind of recognition that they should get, but actually they do because the people love them, right?
Oh, so they don't get it, but actually they do. Because anybody out there ever heard of, what is this, FEMA? Is that what's written on the, is it FEMA? Never heard of them.
The people love them, and we appreciate our law enforcement. Our hearts go out to the families who have lost loved ones. How many, what is the number, would you say, John, right now?
We've lost the
Amazing. Well, it's
It's about 180,000, but
tremendous
just
number,
the hurricane?
You were thinking it could have been a lot worse.
Yes, we had the flood surge come in.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So 15 years.
Hey, that reminds me. If you guys want to check out a Netflix series, I think it was Netflix. It might have been Amazon. I think it's on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, check out Presidente. It's a Spanish, I think it's out of Chile. Might be out of Argentina. Somewhere in South America. It's a Spanish 8 or 9 or 10 episodes long about FIFA. But very little in there about hurricanes. I don't know why.
Years ago this week,
But you got to be able to read. That is the drawback. And you got to be able to speak.
Louisiana was devastated by Hurricane Katrina. Katrina seems to be the standard. It seems to be the one that's 15, is it actually today? 15 years ago today. Mm-hmm. And whether you come from Louisiana or Fifth Avenue in New York City, you know all about Katrina, right? That was a bad, bad deal. And devastation, and now the devastation was far greater, even though the storm probably wasn't as powerful.
Yes, sir, but that was because we had levees.
Are your levees now in good shape? The best ever. Good. That's good. So you came together and you rebuilt. America helped, and here
I would watch FIFA more if there were lemurs.
we are today, and you're going to have this situation taken care of very, very quickly. I'd like to ask Governor John Bell Edwards to say a few words, and then John, if you would say a few words, and we'll take a few questions from the press if you'd like. We'll talk about primarily the storm.
It must suck to be that dumb.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President, for this today. We appreciate close cooperation, all the communication we've had.
Nobody has a mic, so this is what we got. I can skip, because I can't even hear you guys. I'm sure you can skip. And then Trump, we'll get to the point where Trump asks a stupid question. So if you're looking at Trump's face today, I actually watched a YouTube video yesterday on how they prepare turkeys for set. Like, you look at his face and you figure that's 6 hours in the oven. No, you can actually take some iodine, put it on there, and then
you know, when you think of it, Louisiana's been
bitters. You put bitters, and then you brush it on, and then you use a sponge and you dab it with a sponge, and it looks like the turkey's been in the oven for 6 hours. So that's probably what they did there to make, because you know you don't have the time as president to see. I mean, you're tweeting and you're on a plane. Let's see what the dumb question is or dumb comment is he has here. Could be something profound. He's been very profound lately.
Housing programs that we will tap into to try to make sure that the non-congregate sheltering remains available. But we want to thank you for your declaration through landfall really opened that access.
You know, when you think of it, Louisiana's been through a lot with the COVID and with this, a couple of other things, and
Unfortunately,
you have all done a very good job.
in most cases per capita.
Is that right? You've done a great job. You've done a great job. Thank you very much. And Nick, I'm going to come back and find out at the end of 3 weeks how popular you are.
Yes, sir. Well, this is definitely a big test.
This is a big test.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to be very good. You may be very much better if you could be better, which I doubt. John, please say a few words. John Kennedy.
Senator, Louisiana.
Mr. President, a lot of Washington politicians would not be here right now.
A lot of Washington politicians would not be here right now because they don't represent Louisiana and they don't want to use up the resources locally. Speaking of which, you all have a lot of water there. That's very nice. That's very cool to be able to have that water.
My president wouldn't be here right now.
But our president's going to be here right now. Yeah, because he's the president of Louisiana. That's how that works, Mr. Kennedy.
With an election 3 months away.
With an election 3 months away. Where's he going with this?
And let's don't kid each other. We don't care in Louisiana. It's a question of whether you care more this time than last time. I think
Something about this time compared to last time?
we did better last time. We did pretty good last time.
Very good. We did good.
We did good last time, and Trump agrees. We did good. We did good.
And you never know how much that means.
And you have an allowance to buy a goose.
I don't know why bad things happen to good people.
I don't know why bad things happen to good people. It's because, you know, it's the way life works, my friend.
This is really bad. And it hurt a lot of them. And these are our people. These are people who get up every day, they go to work, they pay all their taxes, they travel to the
These are people who get up every day, they go to work, they pay their taxes, they wear hats.
We're going to need help.
We're a media outlet.
All their job, I go through my heavy lifting, and Steve, Garrett, Mike, Dr. John Fleming, and we got to be conference going on. But we need you back.
Oh, okay. So this is, but they're airing their differences. But we need you back, sir. We need Trump back. This is about getting Trump elected to John Kennedy. Louisiana is as rough as a timeline. Again, I don't know if I'm getting all of this, but that's what I heard. But this administration, with the finest line of work that's ever been produced, there's more here. With helicopters and Philadelphia cream cheese. In March, I was there. So thank you for your help, and you don't have to jingle my bell. Oh, I thought you were Noam Chomsky, a professional. You can't hear. And that sets a whole population adverse.
Or they would
Happen. Not sure if I got that last part right.
have been in a basement.
As I say, Kevin Williams, no relation.
So
You said that. They didn't hear that.
You said that. They didn't hear that. Hatpin. Hatpin, maybe? He's happy. John Kennedy's happy. Looking at the media. he's teasing the enemy of the people. And they're just joshing. They're having a good time.
All right, everybody, it's kind of hard to hear what Senator John Kennedy
I
was
know,
saying.
so be
with
quiet.
Representative Steve Scalise also in the audience.
Come
FEMA,
on, pretty journalist.
Administrator Pete Gaynor, President Trump, of course, there, who is being briefed and talking to the media right there about Hurricane Laura. The strongest hurricane to batter the area in 150 years. So far, 2.6 million liters of water have been delivered, 1.4 million meals. We should mention that NBC News is reporting that 8,000 homes were destroyed in this hurricane. About 14,000 people sought shelter. And as of last night, almost 500,000 customers in Louisiana were without power.
That seems really low for a Category 4 storm. I know it wasn't 4 when it hit land, I don't believe, but How do you get less than 1 million people without power with that kind of storm, with that kind of distance? It's weird how we split up all the states. Like we got 800,000 here, and then in Mississippi we've got 200,000. Then let's just put all we're all Americans. Just because you're across a road from somebody doesn't mean your electricity counts any more than the other one.
100,000 in Texas.
Hey, Barb.
I'd like to bring in Dr. Peter Hotez.
I would like you to go back to the coverage.
Had one of the highest rates of transmission of COVID-19 in the country.
Oh boy. Okay, let's see if we can find it somewhere else too. Okay, yeah, so Fox is still covering it. Let's go back on Fox. We were just a few minutes ahead. Let's start from the beginning of the program and see where we end up here.
And that says a whole lot about your
Oh, there we go.
It's
Karate Chop Boy.
So
You said that. They didn't hear that. Okay, so he's joshing.
Come together.
That looks like Scalise.
Cajun Navy, which is something that has developed over the last few years of just a bunch of people that are Cajuns from around this area, and they know that we have tough times.
Oh, he's talking about the Cajun Navy, which is kind of cool. Just a whole bunch of guys who own boats in Louisiana and go out and help after hurricanes and stuff. They're very, very cool.
We're resilient people, and they help everybody else, and they're showing up.
So there was a Hurricane Laura hit Louisiana. So Trump is talking in Louisiana right now, and there's a bunch of Congress people and Democratic Governor John Bel Edwards. This I believe is Steve Scalise. It sure looks like him.
The past is a faith-based group.
Oh, and he's Republican congressman.
Pastor Schumacher, who's sure that we get everything. It's got their back.
We have residents and citizens all the way.
Let's go back.
Mike Johnson, would you want to say something?
I want to echo what's been said, Mr. President. The impact of this storm came off the coast and hit our friends here really hard. We came all the way up the whole
It looks a lot like the FEMA guy.
We have residents and citizens all the way up to the north central part of the state that are equally affected in many ways. And so they're grateful that you're here. I have thousands of constituents and people who want me to tell you how much they appreciate the attention that you're giving to our state.
No, that's a congressperson.
I always will.
We are still listening in live there at that firehouse in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
No, Trump said he's doing a heck of a job, Brownie.
And as we are listening,
turn the electrical grid into Lake Charles into water, and
okay, they're talking
people
over
heeded the evacuation warning.
All right, we're going to C-SPAN. Let's see what we can find the coverage. If we had OAN, I'm not paying $5 a month for OAN. I was mentioning yesterday, some of you guys were in here. Hey, Linda. Well, I mean, it's post-hurricane. You can't expect everything to be mic'd up. I am not blaming the people who put this together in what looks to be maybe a firehouse with some tables. If the fact that they've got electricity right now is impressive. Let's go look at the CSPAN, either that or the cpap.org, and find what's going on. Here we go. We got a live feed right here. I'm going to switch browsers, kids. Give me a second here. Let's bring this over. Okay, let's go to CSPAN here. There we go. I'm going to pump up the volume and dance. Let's see. I have to do the watch from beginning thing here and see where we get to.
The president is meeting.
Phone number
Bringing the big generators down. Are they here?
We appreciate you being here. We really are going to need some help with that. One last thing, we're asking all these people to come back and rebuild. And if we're asking them to do that, and we don't have a safe place, meaning a place that's safe from floods, here in southwest Louisiana and in central Louisiana, we have some really big projects that I think will help provide security to these people that can come back and build here in southwest. They can build in the Organic Gulf area and help ensure that this is a safe place to come back and rebuild.
That's great. Thank you, Garrett, very much. I appreciate it. Hey, Pete, let me ask you, you're bringing the big generators down? Are they here yet, or you're bringing them down?
Yeah, I was talking about the OAN correspondent yesterday. Hey, producer Joanna. She worked for 11 days for HHS and FDA. And the guy, so I'll sum this up very briefly. Last Friday, we had the FDA release a statement saying that the plasma did not work well, that it's not that effective, so they're not going to do the emergency use authorization for it. Further study was needed. And then on Sunday, there was a news conference where it's remarkable. It's fantastic. 34%. It saves 34% of the people with the COVID. This is great. What a miracle prophylactic. Excuse me, not a prophylactic, a therapeutic. And so then one of the guys at the FDA talked to Stephen Hahn, the director of the FDA, the Trump appointee, and said, hey, you really can't say that. It's more like 3 or 4%, not 34%. You're giving people false hope. We're the FDA. So Stephen Hahn had a moment of, I don't want to say clarity, conscience, perhaps, guilt, shame. I don't know why, but he corrected himself and he apologized, saying that I shouldn't have said 34%. It should have been 3 or 4%. Well, they fired the guy who convinced him to do that. Stephen Hahn is still there, but they fired the guy. And they also hired a correspondent from OAN who lasted 11 days. So it's their fault, really, because they said we should tell the truth. And I'm not sure how the OAN correspondent is involved in this at all. But the basic idea here is that her experience to be the head of communications, which she was an off-time correspondent on OAN.
Well, that are here, and we're on the way, and we'll work with the state and the locals and the Army Corps of Engineers to make sure that we meet those needs.
Thank you very much. Any questions of any of the folks?
Come on, it's C-SPAN, not me.
Could you possibly take that off, because I can't hear you.
He wants her to take the mask off because he can't hear. I could hear her. She's asking about the coronavirus.
How's the storm impacting the spread of the coronavirus? We know the National Guard was deployed to help with the pandemic, but now they were redeployed for this.
Well, they're doing it.
How is this impacting the response to the coronavirus? Well, we don't actually have a response to coronavirus, so it should be fine. You in the back.
A very good job down here with respect to that, and even pre-storm, but I'll ask John Bell to say a few words about that. John.
Well, thank you.
John Bell, Governor, Democratic.
We didn't like losing much of this past week with our community-based testing. We're still reporting more than...
It's like 95 degrees and 300% humidity there, and he's wearing that stupid black jacket. You look at the mayor of St. Charles, who was wearing a blue T-shirt on the left, on Trump's right side, your left's my right, his like... It's all downside, really. And he's wearing a blue T-shirt and a ball cap. That's what you wear. He's wearing a golf shirt. He's got a little polo shirt on that probably says 45. Maybe got a stain on it or something. But every time there's a hurricane, Schooley was pointing this out on Twitter earlier. Every hurricane, he shows up no matter how hot wearing that jacket. Because he must feel like this is my work jacket. The hat doesn't say Lisa on it. I don't know. I don't get the joke. Does it look like it says Lisa? Maybe because it's on your small. Maybe you're on a lot of meds right now, doctor.
Today, but on Monday we will resume our community and surge testing across.
Yeah, if you've ever been to Louisiana, it can get pretty humid.
Using the National Guard, of course, our hospitals and clinics continue.
They're in Lake Charles. Did I say St. Charles? I might have.
To test every single day, but we don't like not testing. We're going to turn that back on Monday, which is why we have all 6,200 National Guardsmen mobilized today, is because they're doing the cleanup, they're cutting the trees down, they're distributing food and water and ice and tarps, they're managing warehouses, they're delivering generators, and on Monday they're going to start testing as well. So I appreciate the question, but we're going to get right back on.
Mr. President, why is your administration turning on the EPA air monitor?
Something about EPA air monitors.
Check for toxic chemicals coming from some of the refineries and chemical plants around.
Oh, okay. So there's been a couple of at least one chemical fire plant. That's the footage that we saw earlier of this clouds above a group of buildings in Lake Charles. And so she's asking about turning on EPA monitors. I don't know what you guys can hear.
Chad, do you want to answer that question?
Is that something that you're tracking? I don't know the answer to that. I can get you the answer on what we're doing locally.
I can tell you that we have.
Whoever responded is not in a place where I can hear. It's too echoey.
On the ground on Thursday, on Friday. It might have been Thursday. I lose track of time. They've been on the ground with DEQ in the Lake Charles, West Lake Sulphur area monitoring for air quality.
Correction, Joanna. You can see my beady eyes. It's right there. Like.
So they've been here since the day the storm hit. I'm quite certain of that.
So we're watching a replay on C-SPAN, so we get those pauses.
Do you think they're becoming more frequent because of climate change? And Governor, you're going to
have to take that. Go ahead.
The question was, do you think they're becoming more frequent because of climate change? And Trump right away is like, you're going to have to take it off your mask. Just everybody's got to take off their mask because I don't know why you're wearing masks. Is because someone's smoking in here? Why all these people wearing masks on TV? I don't understand it.
Just take it off.
Do you think storms like this are becoming more frequent because of climate change?
I think he kept the mask on.
The same question to you.
Well, that was the question I asked these folks. Are the storms more frequent? Are they bigger? Now, in all fairness, you probably had your biggest storms. I think you said your biggest one was in the 1800s, but who knows? Who knows? It might have been a very small storm by comparison, right? There's no way of really understanding that or knowing that. But
waiting.
Look, the area's been a storm area. There are tremendous advantages to being here. People love it. That's why they would never leave. They wouldn't even think about leaving. One thing I've met a lot of people.
Okay, it's not really about the people loving it and not choosing to leave. The question is, do you believe the storms are becoming more frequent? And hey, okay.
Not one person would even think about it. I think if they ever even suggested it, that would be the end of them, right?
No one is asking everyone to leave.
So,
this is a question about what is your belief, Mr. President?
This is home. This is home.
This is home.
John,
That's
would you like to answer that question? They're talking about the storms and frequency. Do you see a difference?
Well, let me first.
Oh, yeah. Let's ask John Kennedy.
Ask the cooperation of the press. I know it wasn't a 20-foot storm surge, but 9
Waiting.
feet didn't shot put. It did an extraordinary amount of damage. Still fly over the helicopter. And it wasn't just wind damage. 9 feet is devastating. And I flew over yesterday in Lake Charles. There may be a structure or two that won't get damaged, but I haven't seen it. This thing was 600 miles wide. Katrina was 400 miles wide. We're thankful we didn't get a 20-foot storm surge. But imagine 9 feet of water coming through that door right now. We're all dead.
Kenny just said Katrina was 400 feet wide. Sorry, 400 feet. 400 miles wide. This storm, Laura, was 600 miles wide. We're thankful we didn't get a 40-foot storm surge. We're thankful we didn't get 9 feet of water coming through that door. So they're obviously at 31 feet of elevation. It's their pause.
And that's what came through. And it's not just Lake Charles and south of it. It goes all the way up north of here, bends over across the state. It's just about every one.
John Kennedy's kind of making the case for this being a really bad storm.
One of our congressional districts. So this was, you know, Katrina, people heard more about it because the levees broke. But this is as bad as I've ever seen it, folks.
Katrina was bad because the levees broke.
And I have heard that if the path was different, we got lucky in a sense. Maybe not for the people in the way, but frankly, we got a little bit lucky. If the path were over a little bit more one way.
Yeah, they were saying that the weather reports were saying, as Laura was coming in, that the storm surge was going to be unsurvivable. And I don't remember, even in Hurricane Sandy or Maria, them saying that calling the storm surge unsurvivable. So yeah, we did get lucky.
This could have been by far the worst storm, the worst hurricane you've ever had.
If the eye had passed on the west side.
I think Katrina hit land as a 3, but this is 15 years ago now, so don't quote me on that.
The Ship Channel, the southerly winds would have blown all the water up. It stayed on the east side.
Yeah.
And so you had east winds, west winds, and north winds working rather than south winds.
Got a little bit lucky. That's what I've heard from some people. Thank you all very much. We'll be making another stop soon. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, there's nothing outrageous about that one, and there's something happens. Let's see.
Thank you very much. It's great.
I have something for you. I'm trying to get this to.
He has put on some weight. He is dripping out of that jacket.
Okay.
It's just a little takeaway.
You give it to me. Here, give it to me. I'll give it to my guy.
Mr. President, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This is great.
Yeah, let me have a pen. Hey, could I have a pen?
Come on,
Give me a few.
Gonna sign some
Here,
autographs.
come on over here. He looks like a good man. What's his name? Come here. Come here. Come here, fellas. Get over here. I want a little power.
We got to just keep a little, yeah.
Oh, they're keeping him away from the president, even with a mask on.
I want them over here. These are the guys. Here, sell this tonight on eBay. You'll get 10,000.
If you will, just try to keep the distance. Okay.
Takes his mask off for no particular reason.
Put your mask on for me, guys.
Kennedy says, "Put your mask on for me, guys." Protect the president. Protect fallen eagle.
Who's going to get this one? Sell it tonight on eBay, 10,000.
So go ahead, 1,500 of you sit shoulder to shoulder in the audience. But hey, if you're getting within, look at that. You put your mask on for me there, fellas.
Thank you. Thank you, fellas. We okay? Let's go, Steve.
Cameron was the parish that delivered you the highest percentage of any parish or
Delivered me? Oh, that's
sheriff's right there.
Which is the sheriff?
The sheriff right over here.
Scalise is telling him that the parish of the sheriff, which is the county in Louisiana, delivered the highest percentage of votes for Trump of any parish. So Trump is...
This one right over here, yeah.
Come on over.
It's probably a joke. He's not going to sell it.
So we're okay? Everything?
Sure.
People look good? Give me a piece.
Oh, that's that. All right. Well, that was that, kids. What do now? It's Saturday. And my car is broke. So I'm just going to fix things. I broke a blind the other day, so I'm just going to fix that, I think. And then I was going to unpack some more boxes, but it's like 800 degrees already today. But it's been good. I'm feeling much better for those of you who care. More importantly, Dr. Howard is still alive, so that's good to see everybody here. How many FEMA are going to get COVID now? I hope not. Oh, yeah, speaking of which, I blew a fuse. How did you know that, Dr. Howard? I was just about to head outside and fix a fuse because the microwave and coffee maker can't be on at the same time or something in this house, so... Or the outhouse studios, anyway. I do break a lot of things. Mostly hearts. With my beady eyes. There's reasons I'm alone in the outhouse studio. Just give every one of the unemployed millions in the USA an autograph so they can have $10,000. It wouldn't matter, Joanna. We all owe... No, what do we owe now? Hold on. Let's find out what each and every one of you living in the USA owns. This is fun. I like doing this. This is a fun
The president
part of my
is
day.
meeting with emergency...
Hold on, Hassan. Let me F11 that window closed. Let's go to the national debt clock. Hey, everyone in the USA, it's time to find out how much you have to pay, 'cause your future's been mortgaged away. USA, USA. Let's do this, kids. Let's bring up a calculator. And we're bringing it over here. So we are at 26,697,000,000 thousands. God, that's a lot of numbers. Oh, we're not done. We haven't done the hundreds yet. Divided by, we haven't done the census yet this year, but let's just say we're up to 355 million people. So that's the millions, that's the zillions, That's a quadrillions. And so each American citizen living in the United States today, or non-citizens, because we're counting non-citizens in this too. I don't even know how many citizens there are, but everybody living in this country today, first off, can't go anywhere else. You're stuck. Secondly, you all owe $75,202, a new record. We did it, everybody. We did it. Every citizen in this country and non-citizen in this country averages out to $75,202 in debt. But don't worry, because Trump is going to fix that in his second term. That's what I heard. That's what he promised. Oh, hold on. Look at that. No. Larry, that's incorrect. Because the population has gone up, they're still using the 333 from the last census. Boom! You and your metric math, Larry. Rich, what did I just say? Would you please... Rich, you're like 3 miles from me. You should be able to hear me broadcast. Turn the volume down so you can just hear me out the window. Ignore the delay. Yeah, you guys all trying to fact check me. The day I'm wrong is the day my name is no longer Nigel. Federal spending, official, federal budget, deficit. No, the budget deficit. Yeah, the real budget deficit. This is what I like about the $1 a year. And we should increase that. We need to dole out more. Because the HEROES Act should have been passed already. Anyway, get ready for cuts in your neighborhood. Say goodbye to that library. Dial-up internet. I don't think my house is worth that much even. What do now? Marcy, you know what? The land you live on right now. What island are you on? That's the question that you ask Hawaiians. What island? Like, you know, people have never been to Hawaii. We're like, oh, you just got back. What island? Lahaina. Oh, that's one of my... Oh, it's so beautiful there. A little too arid for me. You've got mail. This DNI refusing to brief Congress of election interference is a concern. I didn't even hear about that. Hilo. The Big Island. See, just say Kona. Why you gotta be like, oh, we're the Big Island. We're the best. Huge. You're like the size of Lower Manhattan. Get over yourself. Big Island. You can't live on 90% of it because it's on fire if you walk on it. Pay attention? Why should I pay attention? I'd never get on TV if I pay attention. Those were the days. Okay. Your hospitalist is asshole extraordinaire. By the way, I invented the word hospitalist because one of my friends was in the hospital one time, and I was like, you know what you need? Because they were talking about a thoracic surgeon. They were talking about an internist. I said, you just need like one person to cover everything, like a hospitalist. Turns out there's actual hospitalists. Who knew? But I will take full credit for inventing it, just like Trump invented the term fake news. You guys are talking. Yeah, you don't need me here. All right, I'm going to go about my day. And we're just going to watch the budget deficit go up and up and up. How did I do that? Wow. That worked out well. What else is going on this page anyway? Largest budget items. Okay. Total interest paid. Interest per adult, $14,000. So $15,000 just in interest. Student loan debt. Wow, they got all kinds of cool stuff on here. If you ever want to get really depressed. Who wants to do their state? Because there's state debt clocks as well. Let's click on that. Boop, boop. Or maybe not. World debt, state debt. What is it going to show us? USA, China. No. Who cares? State debt. Make it work. Rich, come over and turn on the AOL. It's not doing the state. It tricked me. New Jersey. Here it comes. New Jersey. We got to go over. I'm going to make this smaller. Hold on, kids. Usually I keep it big so we can see the U.S. Wow, I got it at 400%. Okay. Debt per citizen of New Jersey. So on top of your $75,000, not $80,000, you metric bastards, you owe another $10,000. So good job, New Jersey. Now we got to go. Do we have to go back to see the next one? Oh, they have an app now. Fancy. Okay, hold on. We got to do this again. Who else we got? California. Oh, you do not want to see California. Okay, let's take a look at my personal debt. $14,000. California takes the lead. Let's go back to state debt clocks. Who else we got? Florida. Florida comes in with only $6,000 per citizen. So good job, Florida. Everybody needs a Gupta. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? New Jersey, California. I think that's it in terms of requests. Hawaii. Do you guys even have debt? Like, you guys just sell so many macadamia nuts. Hawaii. Does it still begin with an H? Okay. Hey, Chris, we're just doing state debt clocks. Whoa! Hawaii coming up close behind California. 12,000. 75% of the population in Hawaii is on government assistance, by the way. Good job with a lot of equity in your house for now, Linda. The government, actually, I don't know if you have any equity because technically you owe quite a bit of money. Who's blocking? What are you talking about? Iowa. Iowaska. 68. Iowa's lame. That's hardly anything. Anything else? Okay. I haven't seen anybody else. So everybody seems to be on YouTube today, which is great. Hey, if you'd like to support me, I think everybody here is already like a Patreon. But if you're out there watching and you want to support what I do here, including checking state debt clocks, go to kevinleefather.com. My big head? What are... Oh, with my big head. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Joanna. I've never insulted your head. Not... Whoa. I think that's a Me Too moment. I should probably get off. Antarctica. No, we're never doing... yeah, Iowa has a 79% positivity rate. Let's look at that. Let's take a look at that, because that was on the Rachel show last night. And we're going to look under new cases. Or we're not. It's my head. My giant head is blocking everything, so we can't see it. It's not me this time, okay? Here. Go upstairs and cry yourself to sleep on this huge pillow. Name that movie, or don't. Really doesn't matter. There's no prizes here. I owe like $89,000 in debt. So we can't, that site's down. Well, that's not going to tell us positivity rate. Hold on. Let's find another site that's going to tell us a positivity rate. Where are we going to go? Oh, let's go to the New York Times. New York, New York. It's a hell of a town. Corona graphs. Corona map. We'll do that. Okay. Oh, you know what we can do is, my favorite, COVID exit strategy. Okay, here's our favorite, because it does a color coding. Oh, wow, this looks so much worse than the maps we're seeing on the media right now. Okay, what are we talking about? Iowa? Okay, come on. Come on, Iowa. You're in there somewhere. There you are. Okay, so positivity reported yesterday was 17.5% in Iowa. So I'm not sure what this 79% is, but I'm sure we can look it up. Boy, Washington looking better. That's good. The whole Northeast is looking decent-ish. Hawaii, you're not Burgundy anymore. Good job, Hawaii. What were we just talking about? Oh, yeah, the 79%. 79% positivity rate. Oh, somebody had already Googled that in front of me. In Iowa, okay, Iowa sees record 2,579 coronavirus cases. No, I don't. I want to continue without supporting you. That is correct. This picture has gotten more play. Like when the coronavirus posed for that, it was probably, and you can tell too, it's completely candid because coronavirus, it's looking this direction. And it's like, oh, hi, I didn't see you there. And it infects you, right? Right up there. Okay, 79% Iowa positivity. So maybe COVID exit strategy is a day behind. Okay, here's the caveat here. Pat Garrett, spokesman for the Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, said Friday evening that the abrupt increase is a one-time event reflecting the addition of antigen tests to state numbers. Okay, so it's an aberration. The test was already counted. Now the antigen results are added in. Okay, but so they weren't counting the antigen test. Typically, here's how it goes. The quickie tests, those are usually antigen tests. So the testing for the antigen in blood, or rather in your whatever they're taking from you. Sometimes saliva, sometimes your nasal patch, whatever. So they take some yucky stuff from your body. They're testing for the antigen. Then they'll go on to the PCR test, which is more accurate, which looks for the virus's RNA, which is like a DNA for a virus. But for some reason, they weren't counting the antigen tests. So this one-time event where the antigen tests were previously, 10,000 tests were previously counted as inconclusive. So they add to what was 17% is now 79%, which tells us mathematically that that's somewhere like 92%. So how is that even an explanation? They must be doing, hold on, let's take a look. Okay, so woo! There's your spike right there. But are they telling us how many tests? Positive cases. That's just the positivity rate. How many tests are they actually doing? Well, I mean, we could figure it out, too, if we wanted to. But where were all the antigen tests before? Still broke the one-day record. Yeah, well, duh. Okay, state, county. Why? There's no real explanation as to why. But California went through the same thing, and as we know now, California's doing just great. How many new cases in California yesterday? Hold on. New cases in California. No, that's the United States. No, that's California. Okay. Still 5,329 cases yesterday in California. So, cow? Now I'm a cow with a giant head? Oh. All right, that's about it, guys. What do now? We did the what could mean with the virus cases. Anybody doing anything exciting today? We'll do that, and then we'll say goodbye. I'm starting to get a headache in my giant head. Yeah, there's very few places that actually report why. They'll give you the stats, but they don't go into it. Some of them do. Not everybody, but certainly not Fox. By the way, a couple of days ago, I think it was just yesterday, feels like last September, we were taking a look at Rand Paul on Fox and Friends talking about getting attacked by the violent protesters, none of whom actually seem to be violent. I don't know. I'm still waiting to see footage. Maybe somebody pushed hard. Somebody. There could have been a shove in there. I don't know. Anyway, he said he whispered to the police officer, they know that I'm in Congress and you should get me out of here. And then last night, which I said, like, why would you're in a mob of 20, 40, 90, 120. They kept getting bigger and bigger. Why? Hold on just a second. No, I'll finish this story. Well, no, I'm sorry. I have to read this first. Heavenly Father, you'd make my year if you could get Noah Wiley do a cameo on the show and specifically have him say hi to me. Okay, well, I'll get right on that. Hold on. Hey, Noah! Okay, thank you. Let me know when he's out. He's taking a shower right now, so if I remember later, I'll get with him. So Rand Paul said, I whispered to the police officer. And then yesterday it was Tucker that I was watching later that evening, he said he shouted to the police officer, which makes a lot more sense. But why say that you whispered to the police officer to begin with? Like, what's the thinking there? So I whispered to the police officer, I'm a congressman. They know who I am. And then went on to state that many of them are for out of town. They're being paid to come in and the whole George Soros conspiracy. thing. Horrifying. I'm sure that himself and his wife were terrified. Nobody should ever be put in that situation. The protesters need to knock it off. But why the whispering to the shout? Why change? Like, just stay with whispering if you said whisper. Like, what difference does it make? Anyway, well, nobody's doing anything today. Okay. Somebody said something. Oh, this is important because I think this is about me. Joanna, I tried to get my daughter to do his logo. She's in advertising branding, but she's flaking on me. We should do one. I took advertising art in college. Yeah, sorry, but Stephanie, daughter, at this point, she's dead to me. It's the way it is. And I think we have so much death already. It's just sad that she wouldn't do it. I can put a logo together. You know what I'm doing? I'm doing it. My friend Patrick Bennett. Oh, you know what? I have an amazing graphic designer friend who's probably not watching right now, but if I post something on Facebook, he likes it before I even post it. So I'm going to talk to Dalton about it because he's amazing, and he'll come up with something fantastic. Happy birthday, Stephanie. I hope your daughter doesn't flake and forget to say happy birthday. Wait, I think are we way behind? Oh, yeah, we're way behind. Hold on. I can fix it. Let's do this. Get rid of that. Boom. See, I'm just keeping YouTube in the background now because it's been so flaky on us. Oh, yeah. Chadwick Boseman passed away. He had colon cancer for 4 years and made a number of movies with the colon cancer. And then so everyone knows him as Black Panther because, of course, that movie made $1 billion, which is awesome. But what was he in recently that I was just so impressed with his performance? Let's look it up. Let's look up the IMDb on Chadwick. There was something that he, as an actor, he was in recently that I was blown away. No, not Avengers Endgame. What was he in that I just loved? Oh, 42. The Jackie Robinson story. So if you haven't seen 42, amazing performance. Fantastic movie. So go check out 42 today, and you can watch that on... Well, you can rent it on Amazon Prime, but it does. I don't know if it's on Netflix or one of those other series, but check out 42. And you can remember the title because it's one more than 43. No, wait, one less than 40. But that's how I remember it. Yes, 42. Ruth, you guys are like 3 hours behind today. Oh, Marcy, I'm so sad. Sorry that you're having to fight that cancer thing. 42 is fantastic. And I hope it's remission, right? When the cancer is down for the count, hopefully. Oh, what movie was he Thurgood Marshall in? I didn't even know about that one. What else? What else did he do? Oh, he's on Fringe, the television show. He's on Castle. He was a guest star on Castle. He was a guest star on Lie to Me. So he had pretty good going as a single episode guest star for a while. And then he did 42, it looks like, in 2014, and that launched his career. And then, of course, Gods of Egypt. I just got to see that because I've never heard of it. And it gets 5.4 out of 10. That sounds good. Nothing better than a mommy movie. Oh, it is called Marshall. Okay. Okay, so the movie is called Marshall. There he is, Thurgood Marshall. Skipped right by that. Oh, and then 21 Bridges, which I haven't seen yet. Has anyone seen 21 Bridges? 6.6 out of 10. That's not fantastic. I wonder what people gave Black Panther. Oh, that's what we should do. We should play... this is a thing they do on the Adam Carolla show. They call it the Rotten Tomatoes game. Where you go to Rotten Tomatoes, but you guys at home have to not cheat on this. So we'll go to Rotten Tomatoes. We're going to guess what the rating... It's got to be the critics' rating on... in fact, let's do it this way. A critics rating, you can say critics or audience. So the game is the Rotten Tomatoes game, completely stolen from the Adam Carolla show. And you have to guess what rating the movie gets. Critic score or audience score. You can choose. And sometimes they're drastically different. So we are going to guess. It doesn't matter whether you've seen the movie or not, but the first one we're going to do is going to be Black Panther. So put in your guess what percentage out of 100 Black Panther got on Rotten Tomatoes. Get your guess in now. Hopefully you guys aren't on too much of a delay. I'm in no movies you've ever heard of, Dr. Howard. So, guesses? Anybody? Critic score 95 from Chris Wilson. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get it prepared, and then I'll reveal it once we've got some stuff in here. Let's see. It's this. Which is it? Yeah, I have had to move around so much. There it is. Gone. Okay, suckers. You're in the dark. I'm going to pull up Rotten Tomatoes for Black Panther. 95, 9.2. Audience, it's like that'd be 92%. Audience 95, critics 78, audience 90. But again, if you cheat, like what's the point here, guys? It'll be 95 and you'll all be like, oh yeah, I totally didn't cheat. Hold on, let me pull it up. Okay. And okay, so we should have a scorekeeper here too. Hold on, I gotta whitelist it because I took off ads. Don't run on this page and exclude. And let's see if it gives it to us. Yes. Okay. So see, you guys are cheating. So many of you are so close. Plump Trump, you're right on. It's 96 audio or 96. Hold on, I'll give it to you. Here, I can make it come. 96 critics, 79 audience. The audience much less in favor than the critics. But remember when this came out, this was the first black superhero movie, and the critics just ate it up. Finally, an African-American featured as a lead in it was a pretty good movie. And it was also an analogy for the United States of America, not letting refugees in. Bet you didn't know that. Okay, let's go on to, now, this is a movie probably hardly any of us have seen. Let's go on to Marshall, when he played Thurgood Marshall. Marshall is the name of the movie. Take a guess. Audience score and critic score. Do the critic score first, then the audience score. Marshall is the name of the movie. You guys are gone black. I will find it. Do, 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 do. Kate Hudson. I'll give you a hint. The audience score is, you know, I'm not even going to tell you because some of you will have already guessed by the time you get that information. 86.78. What else have we got? 82.75. Still waiting. Still waiting. Still waiting. I should, once we figure out what's going on with Restream, the company that I use to broadcast, maybe we'll do this game. We should just do it with YouTube only so that it's like a 3-second delay. We can make that work at some point. Barbara says 89.67. Joanna 95.95 with tie. Ruth Ann says 58.70. Wow, Ruth Ann, harsh. Did you see the movie, Ruth Ann? Marcy says 85.89. Wow, I got to give this one to Marcy. So close. 80 and 84. One of you might be closer than, I don't know. I'm not really keeping track of this. Audience 76.65. Todd did not think the critics would like this one. The critics said 70. Here's one that always trips people up. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the original one. This will be our last movie of the day. Give me both. The critic score and the audience score, because I'm kind of curious myself. I'm guessing that the audience score is greater. I'm going to look it up. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Because a new one's coming out. Bill and Ted Face the Music. Remember, there was a second one as well. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. The original one with George Carlin, the reason I thought of it is because right now floating around on Twitter is a George Carlin commentary on America that's brilliant, talking about how we are just renters in America. We don't own this country, and our owners make the rules and make us think that we have some sort of say in what happens. Let me get rid of the crawl here so you guys can see better. There we go. So we've got some guesses on this. 67.75, 75.88. Critics 25, audience 90. Ruth Ann, hold that thought. Audience 75, critics 52, audience 90, critics 58. Here's the thing on this movie. I believe that when it first came out, the critics were like, oh, Jesus, what are we watching, right? But then Rotten Tomatoes came out, and they're like, oh, I remember loving this. And they wrote the review for Rotten Tomatoes, and suddenly, instead of a 58, you were looking at critics with an 80%. Audience score 75. Now, I almost guarantee you, what does that mean? Trust me, when this movie first came out, and my buddies and I were like, hey, we should totally go see this. This looks hilarious. It's got George Carlin. It's got this Keanu Reeves. He sounds cool. He's Canadian. He plays hockey. We should see this movie, we said. And the critics hated it. But this is what history will do. Now, yours was critics, yeah. But there you have it, 80-75. Okay, that's enough of this. We'll play this a game another day if you guys want to. And I think what we'll do with this one, let me count the delay, hold on. How do I love these? Let me count the delay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, you guys are 12 seconds behind today, so it's taking... I don't have the patience! I hate this house! I hate this house! Okay, guys, you guys have a great day. Be good to each other. Wear your face bras. And I'll play the closing... I don't know if I can keep the chat. Oh, hey, the chat came back. And the chat came back the very next day. She couldn't find a way to keep the chat away. Nobody named that movie. Or maybe you did. I didn't read it. I don't care. Boom. Here comes the actual chat window. You guys can say goodbye as the credits do their thing. Okay, everybody. Have a great day. We may see your chat window here. We may not. I'll try and fix it if we don't. And... boom. There you go. Don't break, Joanna.
Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?
Wait, what?